Welcome to the programme, and this week we come to you from the Green Yards, home of Melrose Rugby Club. In the show this week, we hear from Scott Johnson, Scotland's new interim head coach, just after he's named his first training squad for the Six Nations. We also catch up with Melrose in our club spotlight, and we hear from George Graham, who looks back on his Scotland international career in 5 quick questions. But first, let's kick off with action from Netherdale in the British and Irish Cup match between Gala and Llanelli. We join it with Llanelli leading 3-0 with a penalty from Owen Williams. Commentary from Stuart McCulloch.
Ball goes in, Chris Weir takes the Gala park in behind it. Ewan Dodge makes a half break there, feeds into Gary Graham, and Gary Graham's going to go in for the first try in the right hand corner. Well worked move from Gala, and it was a good take from Weir, fed on to Ewan Dodge, and then Dodge spots a gap that Gary Graham, great line of running, and Gary Graham goes at the far right corner. Gala in front, Gala 5, it's Llanelli 3. That's Llanelli still in the danger area. Ball comes out wide again. That's a nice wee kick through now. In fact, Llanelli could be in for the try there. Indeed, clever kick through from Williams, and the referee has awarded the try in the far right corner. Williams kicked through, and his winger just bursting onto it, and that was Dale Ford that goes in for the try. So Llanelli back in front. Gala 7, Llanelli 8. Llanelli putting Gala under pressure. Have they got the touchdown? Don't think they have. Referee right on the spot, but Gala having to defend on. They could get the touchdown here. In fact, the referee has awarded the try. Well, certainly not going Gala's way, some of the decisions, as Alan Davis, the Llanelli scrum half, puts a high one up. Gavin Young does well, bounces off his chest, keeps it alive well. Oh, not the best of passes. Oh, that's a bit of a hospital one, and oh dear, it's going to be a try here for Dwayne Eager. He's going to go in for the try, and it's a touchdown. It's going horribly wrong here for Gala. The ball was shipped back inside there, and well, it was too high for Andy McLean, and quick as a shot was the Llanelli captain Dwayne Eager, and he just pounced on the ball, and he goes in for Llanelli's third try. Gala 7, it's Llanelli 18. It's just mistakes that are letting Gala down here. Now this is a good 40 metres plus kick here for Lee Miller. That's a good strike. Has he got the radar on? Is it over? What a kick from Lee Miller. They like that one. It sails between the uprights, and it's game on at Netherdale in this British and Irish Cup. It's Gala 10, Llanelli 20. Well, you join us as Owen Williams has just converted yet another try, and it was Dwayne Eager who's gone in for his second in this match. That's Llanelli's fourth try, 30 seconds old, and well, Gala just imploded. It was from the off, just a quick break down the middle, and again it was Dwayne Eager taking the pass, and off he shot in for the try. Owen Williams has converted, so Gala 10, it's Llanelli 27. Gala fighting for every inch of that blade of grass on the pitch, and they're driving it now. Anderson in there as well. They're practically camped now on the wide line. All they need to do is get this touchdown. Gala 10, Llanelli 27, comes out to the back. Lee Miller trying to spot a gap, feeds it inside to Bryce, out to Andy McLean, and McLean goes in, right hand corner, and dives in, and it's game on again at Netherdale. The pass didn't look the best there, but it was certainly Andy McLean. He had to stretch for it, and then he dives into the right hand corner. It's Gala 15, it's Llanelli 27. So Owen Williams trying to land this penalty. It's certainly a good strike. He's got the legs and the radar's on as well, and Llanelli extending their lead here at Netherdale. Gala 15, it's Llanelli 30. Gala will have another go at this wide line. They need to get something. Ball comes out from Owenson, out to Lee Miller. Miller kicks across field, and that's no problems there. Craig Robertson will get the touchdown, and he has. He's got the try. It's Gala 20, it's Llanelli 30. Conversion to come. They might still believe here, Gala. Gala 20, Llanelli 30. Williams then, that's good, it goes over, and the referee, I'm sure, will blow for full time. In fact he has. The final whistle has gone, so Owen Williams has rubbed salt into the Gala wound. It finishes here at Netherdale, and in fact finishes Gala's hopes of progressing into the knockout stages of the British and Irish Cup. But it finishes here at Netherdale. Gala 20, it's Llanelli 33.
Some of the decision making that we had on parts of this game was really, really bad, and then we never really got much of the bounce of the ball. A few times where we just made mistakes and they capitalised on, and they were very soft, as you say. But I thought the boys stuck in. We had a better second half than we did the first, and we created a lot of chances. We just never turned them into points, and we just weren't accurate enough. Far too many errors, and but it's still a good learning experience and a step up from last week.
Yeah, fed up to the boys. With that game, we knew it would be difficult coming up here, and I don't think we've lost for a while up here, so we knew it would be a bit of a hard task. But we set ourselves up for a nice little home game now with Moseley, and they'll decide it then.
It was not a good weekend for Scottish rugby in the British and Irish Cup, with Stirling County going closest to a win, but still going down 24-21 to Bedford at Bridge Hough. Edinburgh and Glasgow are still looking for their first wins in the Heineken Cup this season. They lost out to Munster and Ulster at the weekend. In the Premiership, Ayr are still at the top with a 6-point lead over Gala, who have a game in hand, but there's now a 16-point gap to Curry in third and Melrose in fourth place. In Curry's game against Dundee recently at Mullenny Park, Dundee did themselves a favour by winning that game 35-12, scoring 4 tries, including one from Rory Lamont and also Richie Hawkins, who took advantage of generous Curry defensive play to run in for this one. The league returns again on January 26th. But now let's move on for our first chat with Scotland's new interim head coach, Scott Johnson. The Australian came here last summer to take on a role developing and mentoring young Scottish coaches. But by the end of the year, he found himself holding the reins to the Scotland national squad after Andy Robertson had quit. We caught up with Scott in his Murrayfield office recently and asked him what that period in November after the Tonga defeat was really like for him and how he planned to take the Scotland team forward.
It's twofold, really. I think there's the human side of this, and I think we lose sight of the fact Andy Robinson's a good friend of mine, and is a bloody good rugby coach. And the fact there's the human side of this, and when you see, and obviously a friend of yours being as low as he was, and he handled himself with such great esteem. Really, there's that human element, and I think that I think we've got to take into account, and to me that was a very, very important part of the relationship and what rugby stands for and the human side of things. And then after that you've got to talk about the rugby side, and look, I knew that they'd want me to do it soon or thereafter. I had to take some time to think about it from my end as well, and what I deemed was important was the right decision for Scotland in the meantime. So I've made the decision and it's time to get on with it. The ideal is that we'd like to be a team that is there or thereabouts in this contest for the full 80 minutes. That's what we want. And, we're limited, and everyone will tell you our negatives. I'm going to work on the positives and the fact that we're going to go out there and make sure that whoever we play against has got to play pretty darn well to beat us. And if we've got that and we go out there with attitude and we're there or thereabouts, the scoreboard will start to come in our favour if we get our part right. So it's about making sure we're prepared and make sure that we're ready to go and we're in this contest.
Johnson first came to the UK in 2001 to work with Graham Henry and Steve Hansen with Wales. He then helped Mike Ruddock to a Grand Slam in 2005. And I wondered whether there were any similarities between the Welsh team in 2001 and what Scott's working with Scotland now.
I think there's a lot of similarities, to be fair. I think if you look back in history, a very, very young team was taken through for about 3 or 4 years. Didn't do too well for the first couple of years, mind you. They got beaten. The fact is they kept playing the big boys, and they kept playing them often. So the reality is we played the All Blacks every year, and we played the Springboks and Australia every year, and we went searching for extra games to play them. So the reality is you're not going to win them when you're still developing as a rugby side, but we soon got close or thereabouts, taking Australia a couple of times, taking the All Blacks to an epic game, a 1-point loss in Cardiff, which was an amazing game of rugby if you get the chance to see it. So the fact is, you keep telling people they can't do it, kids included, they won't. Tell them that they can, sooner or later they'll believe it. And the fact is, we can do things if we get our part right. So it's about trying to do our part right and therefore can do things.
Johnson is known for his sharp humour and long hair, but he admitted he would quite happily have a short back and sides if Scotland were to win at Twickenham for the first time in 30 years.
It's an interesting one. The last time I did get it cut really short was a bet I lost in a Bledisloe Cup game. I said to the boys, if we won the game, well, they said to me, if we won the game, you'd have to cut your hair. And I shaved it off for charity. It was money well spent because it was It was a big win for us. And trust me, if people want to put it out there that we beat England, I'll gladly shave my hair if we beat England. So take it as read. If we beat England, the hair's gone. How's that?
In each episode of the Scotsman Rugby Show this year, we're looking at what clubs are doing to develop the game across the country. International rugby brings in the big money, but it's the clubs that bring through the players and develop the interest on a local level. We've been to Aberdeen and heard what Aberdeen Grammar are doing, working in a big area covering a population of over 500,000 people. This week, we're in Melrose, population under 2,000. But they're the birthplace of sevens and they have 8 championship trophies in their cabinet. Shortly, we'll hear what the club is doing with new ideas to bring money in and stay afloat in tough financial times. But first, let's hear from their young club captain, Bruce Colvine, on what it's like to play for a club with such a rich history.
I think it's a massive privilege, really. I think, especially being younger and growing up, being a local kind of lad. I know coming at Eddowson High School, you're quite heavily involved with the Melrose Wasps, things like that. And then you come into senior rugby. Then to go from being a youngster watching the rugby to then being still relatively young, begin to play for them is a massive honour, really.
You've come through the youth setup here, Bruce. You've come right the way through the Melrose Wasps, even with Jim Telford as a coach. So you'll be pretty aware of how much pressure there is to succeed here. Being
coached from the Wasps by Jim Telford, like an ex-Lions coach and whatnot, he teaches you a mentality that rugby is a be end and end all. It is your life, and I think that's a mentality a lot of the players have within the club, and that because of that, to now progress the club, especially within the B&I Cup, boys not just can train on a Tuesday and Thursday, they have to do extra things like, say, gym sessions, fitness sessions if they need it, watching what they're eating, taking supplements if they need to get bigger, do certain things. And I think that sort of stuff has to be done in your own time. I mean, there's only so much a club can do for you. So, I mean, the rugby has to be your life, pretty much, to make the club progress. I think it has to. The Melrose Sevens is a world-leading event still, but it doesn't bring in the same big sponsor deals that it once did. Melrose are having to think differently. And at a recent golf day at the Roxburgh course, Mike Dalgetty, the director of rugby at the club, told us why he was having to think outside the box to try and bring in new investment.
It's hard work getting sponsorship, so we have to be very proactive. The companies who are involved with us don't give away money. They have to see something for it. They have to see us active and keen to work with them. It's a partnership. So it's a business, we have to get off our backside and work very, very hard for something that's difficult to bring in. The days of waiting to just use up whatever people are offering you are long gone. It's a vital part of our income. I
asked Raymond Kerr, a founder and commercial officer with the club sponsors Cube GB, why they got involved with Melrose.
For the simple reason that Melrose has a national coverage. They play national teams. And they also, from a Cube perspective, map the scale of our venture and our business from the north coast of Scotland to the south coast of England. It's important to us that we, as a brand and as a company, identify with successful teams.
So rugby is still an attractive proposition, and club rugby is attractive to businesses?
Absolutely. Club rugby in the Borders is it's a stalwart of Scottish rugby. We, as a company, are based very much in the Scottish Borders. We want to help and maintain a relationship with the clubs on a local basis to try and improve the standard that goes forward. Whilst we may be affiliated to Melrose, it's actually more important that the whole of the Borders actually gets involved and supports its local rugby teams.
And Dalgetty believes that with the advent of the British and Irish Cup, club rugby in Scotland is beginning to grow again.
Absolutely, I think it's a very positive place. The British and Irish Cup has added a huge incentive to us as a club. Those of us who are running the club, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to our players, and it gives us a national profile UK-wise that we didn't have before. So companies such as Cube are keener to become involved with us. So I think it's a completely different ball game now than it was, say, 10 years ago. I think it's a very, very positive place at the moment.
There's some thoughts from Melrose Rugby Club on the future for the club game. But let's look into the past now with our 5 quick questions. Stepping into the spotlight is George Graham.
Very vivid memories actually, 1997 against Australia. I remember Richie Dixon was the coach at the time, and he picked me and I was on the bench, and I vividly remember running on the field because it was a 5 metre scrum on our own 5 metre line. Yeah, it was a sort of a baptism of fire, getting your first cap and also first scrum on your 5 metre line. But yeah, it was against Australia in 1997. I was very late starting playing rugby from where I'm from. It was mainly football when I was. Billy Bremner was my boyhood hero. I don't think he played much rugby. But as I started playing the game, and I've played the game for a long time there, I think that probably the guy who's my hero would be Gary Armstrong. But not really a boyhood because he's a wee bit younger than me, but certainly Gary Armstrong. Probably for two reasons. It was when we played against Ireland, and I scored my only try for Scotland, and then 5 seconds later realised I'd dislocated my shoulder and got stretchered off. The only problem with getting stretchered off is I was later told by lots of my friends that there was nothing wrong with my legs. So yeah, great to score a try, but also very disappointing to get stretchered off when there's nothing wrong with your legs. My toughest opponent is a very good friend of mine, is a guy called Marius Hurter, who consequently after we played that game, he came to the Falcons at the end of that season, and we became very good friends. And I remember vividly playing against him because he was such a powerful, strong man, and his technique was very good. He was huge man, as most South African props are. But I remember playing against him, and as I said, I played a lot of times with him at Newcastle Falcons, and I wasn't wrong when I said he was strong, because the weights he was throwing about in the gym was just ridiculous. So yeah, Marius Hurter. Easy, Gary Armstrong. And a country mile, as far as I'm concerned. I played with Gary since we were 18-year-old, all the way through up the levels. 18s, 19s, 21s, Scotland B. I remember when we played Italy up in Aberdeen. I scored a try, he scored 3, and we beat Italy convincingly. Consequently, after that game, Gary got picked for the national team, and I sort of plateaued for many years. But yeah, I've known Gary's a very close friend, played with him, played against him, and bar none, hardest man on the planet.
That's it for this edition of the Scotsman Rugby Show. Join us in another 2 weeks where we'll be previewing the Six Nations.